Hey guys, it's me, Anchor64 again for another video. This is another DPS warrior guide, and this video will be, as you already saw from the title, about a comprehensive guide about DPS warrior pre-raid BIS, how your pre-raid BIS should look like, what alternatives you have, and such. Why is this a comprehensive guide? I made some presets. This was a bit of work actually, and I made pretty much 9 different gear sets. So we have 3 for human, 3 for orc, and 3 for meme races. Meme races pretty much those who are not orc or human. So because of the ratio, of course. If you already saw my warrior guide, my comprehensive warrior guide, some of this information will be familiar to you, but I thought I should probably make a standalone video, because a lot of people are of course interested in gearing, and especially if people are new, this will be pretty helpful for you. So what is the site I'm using? I am using 60 upgrades. This is a site where I can pretty much make gear presets, see how much hit or so I get, and yeah, mix and match my different gear. So yeah, as always, if you like these kinds of videos, give it a like, subscribe. I'm going to pump out more and more videos, of course. And if you have anything to say, feel free to comment and so on. So yeah, let's start with the actual video. Let's start with human. So yeah, I'm a bit biased, so that's why I picked human. Don't worry, I'm not racist, I promise. But yeah, let's see how this looks like. So this, where I made pre-gear sets. I made one for the best of the best you can get before you enter any raid. I made another one for people who don't want to do any PvP at all, and I made the third one. The third one would be like my recommendation if you are like new, and which is a more reasonable one. So yeah, let's start with the best of the best. This one, as you can see, has a lot of PvP gear. Like most of the gears like from PvP. I can just show you which gear is actually from PvP. So we have shoulders, which are from PvP ranking. I think these are rank 13. You have berserker bracers, which is from Awesome Gorge Exalted, also PvP. Of course, your swords, rank 14, PvP. These hands are from PvP, rank 12. These legs are from PvP, rank 12. These boots are from PvP, rank 12. This ring's from PvP, reputation. And yeah, this bow is also, you could say, from PvP. Yeah, you need to do a quest in Orc Valley, and I think you need to win it once, and then that's it. But yeah, most of this gear is all from PvP. Oh yeah, I forgot the belt. Of course, that's also PvP. So yeah, this is honored in Arati Basin. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's for the best of the best gear. Like I said, you need to grind a lot of PvP. Best way to do that is to just spam Orc Valley, especially if a weekend is up, so you get more honor. Other than that, other pieces come from dungeons, or you can buy them. For example, Lionheart Helmet is a big something you should definitely focus on getting. This is a helmet that will be your best in slot for a very long time. And that's why it's really important that you are getting it. You can either buy it off the auction house for a lot of gold, like 1.5k, 1.8k, fluctuates a bit. Or you can buy the materials and ask an armor smith that has this receipt, because it's a pretty rare receipt, to craft it for you for maybe a fee. That could be cheaper than buying it off the auction house. But yeah, this is definitely a helmet you definitely want to get. Or maybe your guild can help you. Who knows? Mark of the Fort Ring, you get that from a quest. In Eastern Plaguelands, you need to do a chain, and then you can get this neck, which is actually really good. 1% crit, 26 attack power. There's nothing really close. Pre-raid BIS. So yeah, try to get this definitely. Other than that, you have Cape of the Black Baron, which you get in Strength form. Savage Gladiator Chain is another annoying one. You need to be really lucky to get this one. Or maybe you can get some help with your guild to get the specific ID and such. I think I am probably going to make another video in where you can get Savage Gladiator Chain easier. Maybe I make a guide also. Just for people who want to know it right now. You can pretty much fish for the orc if you have certain classes like a hunter or something. That's the easiest. And you can sell these IDs or help someone in your guild out. So yeah, that's one thing you can get. You can get Savage Gladiator Chain a bit easier. Okay, Berserker Bracers, like I said, Warsong Gold Exalted. So really a lot of grinding. I personally wouldn't recommend it. So because it's too much grinding, and unless you have a really good pre-made, it's not really that worth. Yeah, the belt is from Arati Basin Onat, which is also a bit of grinding, but yeah, AB, don't get me wrong, definitely, but AB in my opinion is way better than Warsong Gulch. Maybe I get some hate by that, but yeah, that's my opinion, definitely. And Honored is not that often, yeah, you don't need to grind that much for Honored, but yeah, the spell is definitely getting replaced as soon as you enter raids. Yeah, next one, these are PvP ones. This is Exalted with All Tech Valley, which you will 100% have if you are grinding PvP ranks. So yeah, you can just buy this off. Buy this off the vendor when you are Exalted. Then with a band you get this in Hubris, which will actually appear a couple of times. And of course these trinkets. Hand of Justice, you get this in BRD, which can be kinda annoying to get. And Diamond Flask, of course. You get this by a pretty easy quest. Just to Sunken Temple once. Yeah, the quest, pretty much do the quest. And definitely grab this one. This will be your trinket, I think, for the whole of vanilla. Don't think anything replaces this. So yeah, definitely get this. And this, like, ranged weapons are not that important. They are just stat sticks for us. You can get this bow by winning an all-tech value match. Like, it's a quest. If you picked up another, I think you can get a really good two-hand polearm if I'm not wrong. It's really nice for leveling. If you picked something else, like if you picked that polearm, you can as well try to get this one or Satyr's bow. Both of them are the same for 1% hit instead. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So this would be your best of the best before you enter any raid. And the thing is also, a lot of these pieces are your best in slot overall right now. Like, for example, the PvP set, epic set is really strong and they don't really get replaced. For example, this one gets, I think, replaced by these ones. And the legs don't get replaced. The boots are getting replaced by chromatic boots. But it's still very close. So yeah. Shoulders, for example, don't get replaced at all. So yeah, as you can see, PvP is really powerful. Not powerful, but you can get a ton of gear, which I personally don't really like that much. It's kind of weird that like most of the best gear you get is just from PvP and not really raids or something. So yeah, that's kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. Okay, so I talked about this. So what if you do what if you don't really want to do any PvP at all? Let's look at that. That would be this set. Looks kind of strange, but yeah, I personally also think it doesn't really make that much sense to not do any PvP at all, because the earlier ranks are pretty easy to get, but we'll get to that, no problem. As you can see, we have like Lionheart helmet again, but our shoulders got replaced by True Strike, and our swords are like the this time are Dalrens. Yeah, we pretty much replaced all our gear that we got from dungeons, from PvP with dungeon gear, and some of them we can also buy off the auction house. Like Devil Saw gauntlets are made by lever workers, and we can get this. And the set is not that expensive anymore in phase 4. So I think you can get it maybe like for 250 gold, like both the hands and the legs. So it's not really that expensive anymore. So yeah, I would definitely recommend. I think the hands are like only 70 gold, if I'm not wrong. But yes, this would be it. We are 10% hit chance. It's a lot as comparison. This set only has 6%. But yeah, isn't that much of a problem. So if you don't want to do PvP at all, you can look at this and orientate yourself on this. Next one. So this is probably, in my personal opinion, also probably the most interesting one, or a more interesting one. This would be the set. Maybe you are fresh 60, you don't have a lot of gold, you just want to have a reasonable one, and you don't want to grind, you don't want to spend your whole week just in Old Tech Valley grinding PvP. So yeah, that would be your set. You do some PvP, but you don't do like rank 14 grind or something. I think it's pretty reasonable to do some PvP, as shouldn't be too difficult. So yeah, what do we have here as a set? Also, I replaced some items that are pretty expensive or difficult to get with like alternatives. So yeah, this would be your easy setup you can get. First of all, the helmet, of course, we don't have Lionheart helmet anymore. We have the Temu version of it. This helmet you can get by grinding rank 10 to PvP rank 10. So what I would generally recommend for also new people playing, grind till at least rank 10 in PvP, because you can get really good pieces if you just reach rank 10. Shouldn't take too long. You can even go to rank 11, so you can buy a really cheap mount. But yeah, that's on you if you want to do that. Other than that, rank 10 gives us this helmet we can buy, and like I said, it's a cheaper alternative to Lionheart helmet. It gives us 21 strength and 1% crit, 1% hit. Compared to Lionheart helmet, of course, it's a bit worse. Lionheart helmet gives us 1%, 2% crit, 2% hit, but actually has less strength than this one and no stamina. But yeah, like I said, Lionheart helmet, of course, is much better than this helmet. But yeah, you could get this instead. Next one. Shoulders. These shoulders are really important and really good. 17 strength, 18 stamina, 1% critical chance. So yeah, why are these shoulders so strong? There are actually multiple things. First of all, we don't have a lot of good shoulders in the game. We have Drake and Pauldrons, which is which you can get in Blackwing Lair, of course. It's a raid item. But these are actually close because of a different reason I'm going to talk about in a bit. And the next one, which would be these ones actually, Field Marshal Plate Shoulder Guards, in where you need to rank 13. So yeah, that's a lot of grinding. Like I said, if you don't want to do PvP, you can get True Strike Shoulders, which are the like dungeon pre-raid BIS, and which was the pre-raid BIS for us in phase 1. So yeah. Next one, we have Cape of the Black Baron again. Just need to do Perform Undead and be a bit lucky. This one's also another thing I replaced with Cadaverous Armor. Or Cadaverous Armor? Yeah, whatever. This one drops on Scholarmans, gives us 60 attack power and 8 strength and 8 agility. Actually really insane stats. But of course it's still worse than Savage Gladiator Chain, but way easier to get. You just do Scholarmans. You can also get this one in Enchantments, which gives you 10 strength and 2% crit, 10 stamina, also pretty nice. And if you just don't want to do any dungeons, or I don't know, are unlucky, you can also buy this one, also a PvP vendor, if you reach rank 8. So yeah, don't even need to reach that high of a rank, which gives you 21 strength, as Knight Captain, Plate Hauberk, 21 strength, 1% critical strike. I personally would say Tombstone Breastplate, which gives you 2% crit and 10 strength is better. And Carnivorous Armor is better than both of these. Yeah. You have some options on the chest slot. Try to play a bit around. See what you can get. You even have things like this, Ogrefort Shawwork, which is also an option. Okay. Yeah, the bracers are pretty much the same. These ones drop in Blackrock Spire, in Hubris, from Rand Blackhand. And these one, the Battleborn bracers have 1% hit, 1% crit. And yeah, not really much to be said about these. These are really nice. There's some other things you could get. Let me look at it. Yeah, these ones you could get if you have hit from another source. You can actually also get these. So now let's get to the weapons. Since we are human, we benefit from maces and swords, so we can use that and actually get a pretty nice, easy to get set of weapons. So I excluded the dual rend set, not because it's worse than these, no, because it can be pretty difficult to get, even now, because everyone who's doing rend pretty much wants a dual rend. Or maybe in Feldstriker, but that's a different discussion. But yeah, so what can you instead get? You can, if you grind PvP, you're 100% going to get All-Tech Valley, the reputation, to Exalted. Especially like if you grind till rank 10, you are going to have that reputation exalted 100%. So you can use that because there are some really good items from that reputation. One of them is this mace, Stormstrike Hammer, which gives us 15 strength and a nice amount of damage actually, 2.7 speed, so it's pretty slow, which 80 to 150 damage, and of course, because it's a mace, we benefit from the weapon skill. So yeah, really nice mace, really easy to get. You don't even need Exalted, you just need Revered for this one. So, let me show you. Stormstrike Hammer, Revered, Stormspike card. So yeah, you don't even need Exalted with this one. Next one, Mara Song. Mara Song is a sword you can get from Unschoolman Quest Chain. You need to clear some things in Schoolmans, go back, turn some quests, do it again, kill some bosses, whatever, and then you can pick this sword. This sword is one of the best offhand weapons you can get. This alone is even better than the dual rend one. Duck, dual rend, yeah, it's better than this one actually. As you can see, it has less damage, but it has 9 agility, 9 strength, and it's actually really nice. So get a bit more attack power. However, the problem with dual rends is they are kind of hard to get, even the offhand, and yeah, that's the thing. They are pretty hard to get, and you wouldn't really benefit from just one alone. You need 2 to get the set bonus, so you can just get Mirror Song instead. This is a really useful sword. Like I said, it's pretty much the best offhand unless you enter raids. So yeah, definitely try to grab this one, and I'm going to talk a bit later about some enchantments, because you can make some changes here. Yeah, but these one are really easy to get. I don't think there's any replacement which would make sense for these, because they are both really easy to get, as I said. Silversaw gauntlets are again appearing here. These are really cheap to buy, really nice stats, and yeah, just buy them off the auctioners. Next one, you have Omok's Growth Restrainer, which is a quest item and belt you can get from, I think, doing Lower Blackrock Spire as a quest, and you can grab this one, which gives you 15 strength, 9 stamina, 1% crit. This belt is really nice. There aren't really anything, there isn't really anything close for like DPS. You want to have the crit. So yeah, definitely try to grab this one. There has been some discussion, especially in phase 1, because the same quest which gives you this belt also gives you some hands. Let me see where I can find them. Yeah, these ones. Wounds Wise Grips, which have 9 agility and 2% hit. But I think San Medina made this really popular. Or maybe I remembered wrong, or whatever. Yeah, I think he said, don't get the belt, definitely get these hands. I couldn't disagree more, so don't get these hands. Definitely not. Especially now, since we are in phase 4. Yeah, don't get these hands. The 2% hit chance is not worth it at all. So yeah, definitely try to instead go for Devil Saw Gauntlets or some other hands, and definitely try to grab this belt. So yeah. Next one. The legs are some of the best pieces you can get, and these come from PvP and only from rank 8. So rank 8 is really easy to get. I think you can get it in 2 weeks, maybe 1 even. Probably not 1, but I think you can get it in 2 weeks. So yeah, really nice legs. 17 Knight Captain's Plate leggings. I need to remember to actually read the names, because yeah, these have 17 stamina, 12 strength, and 2% crit. So really insane stats. 2% critical strikes on a leg, on a blue pair of legs is really insane actually. So yeah, these are really nice. The other thing we have, if we replace our Lionheart helmet, if you replace our helmet we have currently with Lionheart helmet, we still have the 2 set bonus, and that's why this set is really strong. Because this 2 set gives us, as you can see, 40 attack power. So even if we have the replacement for this one, the raid replacement, which would be Drake Tail and Pauldrons, and Leg Guards of the Fallen Crusader, which is an Alliance exclusive item, they still are close, so pretty much the same. But yeah, that's why it's so insane. That bonus alone is really insane. The only thing that would replace these are both, if you have both epic PvP items. So yeah. So you can even use some more expensive enchants on this one, because you don't really replace these at all unless you do more PvP. I think in AQ there are better legs, but until then, unless you do PvP, more PvP, like rank 12, you don't replace these. These legs are really insane, coupled with these shoulders, of course. Okay. The boots, which one do we use? We use these ones, which give us a myriad of stats, even some intellect, which we don't really need unless you want to farm some weapon skill. But yeah, this one also gives us 1% hit, 9 strength, 9 agility, blood mail boots. They drop from Scholomance, and yeah, definitely try to pick these up. They're also an alternative you can get, like these boots, Wind Reaver Greaves, which give you 20 agility, 1% hit. Also from Scholomance. You need to summon a boss there. There's some option you can go for the boots, but we definitely need the hit right now, so yeah, try to grab some with hit. Okay. Next one, what do we have? We have our rings. So first of all, we have Blackstone Ring, which we can get from a Rodon. Yeah, this a really nice ring, was the Pre-Raid BIS. It's still the Pre-Raid BIS. So yeah, definitely try to grab that one. Can be a bit annoying, I think, but you can also probably pay a mage or something, or another class to get it for you. I don't know how expensive that is, however. If you can get this one, You can also get Tarnished Elven Ring, which gives you 1% hit. So yeah, so that would be also an option. So either way, you can play around, see what would benefit you, and try to do that instead. So because for rings you have multiple options actually. You can even get Magnus Will, but you need to get 1% hit from somewhere else then. Since we are only at 6%. So yeah. Trinkets, again, Hand of Justice, Diamond Flask, I talked about this. You really want to have these trinkets, there's no replacement. Only Hand of Justice gets replaced in raids by Drakefang Talisman, but good luck getting that, and the increase is not really that big. So yeah, try to get these trinkets, definitely. These should be your focus. For bow, for your range slot, you want to have a range weapon with hit rating, so 1% hit. Like either Satius Bow, which you get in Diamond East, or Black Crow, which you get in Blackrock Spire lower. Lower Blackrock Spire. Yeah. So one of these. If you can't get it, and if you are missing 1% hit, you can also use this belt. Brigam Girdle, which is pretty much the same as Oh My Girlfriend's Trainer. But instead of 1% crit, it has 1% hit chance. And this drops in Upper Blackrock Spire. So yeah, these are really similar. But yeah, Upper Blackrock Spires can be, this can be annoying to get because it drops from the last boss. But yeah, if you are doing a lot of Ubers runs, you can just play around with your gear a bit. For example, I don't even know if that would be a better option. You could also go for this. Like you use Dragon Girdle here, and instead of Blackstone Ring, you go for Painweaver Band. Could be that this set would be even more damage. I think it is even. Yeah, I think this one should be your Pre-Raid BIS. So yeah. Change it around a bit. Definitely still try to get this belt, because if you have if you don't really need the hit from the belt anymore, just replace it with this belt and you're good. Like I said, you don't really need the other items from that quest. Okay, I talked a lot. So this is my opinion, like you easy to get BIS, best in slot, or like your Pre-Raid BIS best in slot. If you reach 60, try to aim for this, which would work really well. And yeah, next thing I'm going to talk about is a bit about enchantments. So on every set, you also saw the enchantments. I also added the enchantments, of course. Also, I added the talents. So yeah, you can even use these talents. These are pretty much the cookie cutter talents you use as a Fury Warrior. So yeah, I didn't do anything here with buffs or so, but yeah. So enchantments. As you can see, the enchantments are different from this one, for example. These are the enchantments which are cheaper to get and in my opinion more reasonable. There can be some changes, I will talk about it, but yeah. Let's look at the enchantments. Enchantment changes I made. For example, first of all, let's look at the best enchantments. So yeah, I forgot to talk about that. Let's talk about that first of all. So this, like I said, is our best gear. Lineart helmet, we use 8 strength. You can get this one by using a book, which is really expensive, and you need to turn in some items with the book, and you can get an enchantment, or you can buy it off someone else. It works similar to like the Fury enchantment you can also get from that one quest, where if you have that item, you can enchant other people's gear. So yeah, if you have a lot of gold, just pay someone to enchant it for you. So you can do that as well. 30 attack power, like a shoulder enchantment, which you saw multiple times. You can get this if you are exalted. With the new reputation, which dropped in Zul'Gurub, the Zandalari reputation. And then you can enchant your shoulders with 30 attack power. Pretty nice amount. Agility is pretty cheap. You definitely should have this one. Plus 4 to all stats can be pretty expensive. It's actually pretty expensive. There's an alternative one, which I will mention when I switch back to the more reasonable gear set. But yeah, plus 4 to all stats. +9 to all +9 strength for bracers is also kind of expensive. So yeah, if you want to have the best, that is the best enchantment. For our weapons, we are using 2 Crusader enchantments, and on rank 14 weapons this also makes a lot of sense because these are really good, so you want to have good enchantments. But it can be pretty expensive. Crusader, we need 2 Righteous Orbs. Right now they are going on my server like 70, 80 gold. So if you have 2, like 140 gold, and then you need some 4 crystals. I forgot how they are called. I think Brilliant Large Shard or something. So yeah, it's costly, but can be worth it. It's not that expensive anymore because the Righteous Orb prices dropped a lot. They dropped like over 30 gold. So yeah. On hands we are using 7 strength, and yeah, that's the enchantment we are using. Legs are a bit more interesting. We have 8 strength again, which is the same thing as which we can use on our helmet. So we have 2 really expensive enchantments here, helmet and legs, which is the same. I think the book alone costs like 500, 600 gold or something. So yeah, it's really expensive. There are some alternatives I'm going to mention, however. So yeah, minor speed, we use that on our boots. You could make an argument if you don't want to use that and instead want to go for agility. You could go for that. Personally, I wouldn't do that because the 8% movement speed you get is a really nice quality of life. Quality of life addition. You can get to mobs and so on quicker. You can dodge stuff and so on quicker. For example, if you do Baron Geddon, you can get out of his AoE faster and so on. There are a lot of benefits that can increase your DPS when you are using minor speed. So yeah, range enchant doesn't really matter. Doesn't really increase our DPS, so it's whatever. If you want to put up something on there, whatever. It will only maybe increase your DPS if you use it on Onyxia in phase 2. Yeah, but whatever. I didn't add it. Okay. So let's see what enchantment changes I made for the more reasonable set, so you don't spend a lot of gold and can focus more your gold on things like Lionheart helmet and such. First of all, our helmet, we are not using 8 strength, we are using 1% haste instead. So that is a cheaper alternative, which works in kind of similar way. So you need to get a book, you need to grab some items. Beforehand, you need to do a quest for Diamol. And you have this library in Diamol, where you can turn in these items and get that enchant. So it's not that expensive. I think the book alone costs like maybe 20 gold or something. So yeah, it's not really much. You can use that on your helmet and on your legs, and you have 2% haste. So yeah, some more attack speed. Of course, it's worse than 8 strength, but it's still a good alternative. 30 attack power, same as the last thing, is reputation bound. Yeah, you're probably not going to have that at the beginning, but I'm just still listing it here. Free agility is pretty cheap, but I should definitely get that one. Here I'm using for the chest, I'm using +3 for all stat, not +4. +3 is way cheaper, and yeah, for 1+1 stats, not really worth it in my opinion. Next one. Instead of 9 strength on bracers, I'm using 7 strength. +7 strength is way cheaper, and still, of course, it's like 2 strength less. Whatever. Now, the more interesting thing comes, our weapons. So what are we going to use on our weapons? Personally, I think you could use Crusader on these weapons. However, if you are starting, I think it would make more sense if you just save up your gold and get Lionheart helmet instead. Try to save up for that. And use some cheap enchants on your weapons. Of course, you're not going to pump the meters with this, but whatever you only have, UB isn't that great anyway, so who cares? You could make an argument for Myra Song if you want to use Crusader on that. So if you want to use Crusader, like one, I would recommend to put it on Myra Song. So why is that the case? simple. The only better offhand weapons you have are... let me look them up. This one, which you can get in the group, Warblade of Sakari, which is, yeah, kind of people want it. It's kind of contested, so but not that much. I actually got it today, I think. So yeah, hats on me, but whatever. Yeah, this is a really nice weapon. So yeah, that would be of course some better offense than Myra Song. 40 attack power, a lot of damage, really nice offense. The other one, which is even better, would be Maladov. So yeah, this would be your best in slot offhand weapon. But yeah, both of these are raid weapons, so difficult to get. So yeah, you could make an argument if you put Crusader. If you want to put Crusader on a weapon, put it on Myra Song. Stormstrike Hammer, you have a lot of replacements. So from a dungeon, of course you have Dalrens, which are strictly better. Maybe if you have some gold, you can also get this one. Yeah, Clawblade, which is also better. Yeah, get that one. That's not really that much of a difference. I wouldn't really use it, in my opinion. Yeah. And then, of course, for raids, we have this cake. Here, you have this one, which you get from Onyxia. You have Brutality Blade, which can also use as an offhand, of course. But yeah, you have this one. But it's kind of slow, so yeah, you would probably use it as a main hand. Unless you have this one. Chromatic, the Tempered Sword. Which you could also use. So yeah, there are a lot of replacement for this. Not really much for your offhand. You could get, maybe you get lucky and get a Dolrend main hand. If you get this one, you're 100% going to replace your offhand to get that set bonus. But yeah, other than that, not really. So yeah, you could make an argument for Crusader if you want to put it on Myra's Song. Other enchantments, we have 5 strength instead of 7. It's a lot cheaper. Minor speed still is here, 1% haste still here. So yeah. So that's about the enchantments, the cheaper enchantments I made. When you are new, you're probably not going to have any gold. So yeah, you can try getting these cheaper enchantments. And then just do some raids. You will probably get into raids with this kind of gear. I'm pretty sure. Okay. So, I talked a lot. Don't worry, the next ones are not going to be that that through, so that in depth, because they're mostly the same. So yeah, I'm going to talk about the other races now as well. Also, don't worry, I'm going to make timestamps, so if you are a certain race, you can just skip until you are there. So you don't need to hear me ramble about the whole video until your race comes up. So don't worry about that. I'm definitely going to make timestamps. Okay. Next one. So next one we are going to look at Orc. Orc is pretty similar, of course, to human. They have only one weapon ratio, and that's axes. So instead of swords, we are using axes. As you can see here, this would be your best in slot for pre-raid best in slot for orcs, and we are going to use axes instead. So we use two of the same, High Warlord's Cleaver, and that's our best in slot. Like I said, I think I repeat myself way too much, sorry. Other than that, of course, the names are changing because we are using the Horde PvP set, and I'm going to be honest, this looks really nice. Like with the, I don't really play a lot of Horde, so yeah, I'm kind of jealous. This actually looks really nice. So yeah, that's that. Of course, no PvP. Same thing, we use axes instead. Here you have some room where you can use different axes. Axe of the Deep Wounds would probably be the best one if you don't want to do PvP. But there's also another one. I can remember that name. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Looks like a pickaxe. We do this. Yeah, let me change this really quickly. Forgot the name. The thing is, I don't really play a lot of Horde, so yeah. That's why I don't really remember the items that were probably up there somewhere. No, it's not Frostbite. Yeah, Riven Spike. This one. I could use this one instead, Riven Spike. You don't want to buy X of the Deep Wounds. And what you can also do is you can also, if you have a lot of gold, maybe buy Flurry X on that slot. But yeah, I don't really know how strong Flurry X is for an Orc Warrior. Flurry X is pretty fast one-hander, and it doesn't really... I don't know how big the proc is. Well, pretty much only depends on the proc. But yeah, what I mean is this one. Flurry X. This one. But yeah, it's really expensive. And kind of difficult to think about. Okay, other than that, the rest of the gear is the same. And now we look at the easy one. So that would be my recommendation if you're an Orc Warrior. What should you get for... which items should you get? Actually, I need to change this a bit because I'm not hit capped, I think. Yeah. So yeah, let me change this really quickly. Let's go for this. And let's go for... No, we can actually go for this. There's two things you can do. I'm going to talk about this. For this. Oh, no, yeah, hit capped. Yeah, again, everything is kind of similar besides this. Besides the axes, of course. So we are using, in our main hand, we are using Frostbite. Frostbite is an axe you get. It's pretty much the same situation as a human. If you are revered, which you are 100% going to be, you can just buy these off the Alltech Valley vendor. And it's a really nice axe, 15 strength, 2.7 speed. So yeah. Offhand, again, bone slicing hatchet, you get that in Strathholm. I think hunters also really like this axe. So yeah. Maybe it's harder to get, I don't know. But yeah, I should try to get this one. Rest of the gear is pretty much the same. Again, we have to reach the hit cap of 6%. We are using Brigam Girdle and crossbow, Black Crow, or we can use Satyrs Bow for 1% hit. If we don't have one of these, like if you don't have Satyrs Bow or if you don't have Brigam's Girdle, you can play with the rings, and instead of a Painweaver's Band, you can use Blackstone Ring, or, which would be probably even easier to get, a Tarnished Elven Ring. You can just pay an Hunter, which are doing tribute runs, and they can see if the chest at the end has this item, and if it does, they can invite you and you can loot it, and then you have this ring. Yeah. Maybe you can get this instead even. But I would recommend maybe try to get a Painweaver Band. If it's too difficult, just try to get one of the hit rings instead. As I said, you can play around a bit. And yeah, if you are over 6%, instead of Brigram's Girdle, go for Ormag's Gift Restrainer. So that's also one thing I wanted to mention. Like I said, there were people who mentioned don't go for the spell, go for the hands. But as you can see, if we are above 6%, we don't really have a good belt by then, because we can just use Ormag. So that's the reason this belt is actually so useful for us. We can play around a lot, and if we don't need the hit from the belt, we can just use this one. So, like I said, I'm going to use this Brigam skill, and okay. Yeah, instead of a Painweaver's Band, you can also use... Oh, I don't think... No, that quest is alliance specific. You can use Magnus will. Yeah. One thing also Horde has exclusive. Maybe you can use it to catch up to your gear. You can use Rune of the Guard Captain. So this one gives you 1% hit and 20 attack power. Pretty easy quest to do. But like I said, this one is Horde exclusive. So only Horde can get this one. It's of course not your pre-raid BIS. Like I said, this is your more reasonable pre-raid BIS. But still, the items are still going to be really good. Especially your trinkets. Even if, yeah, like this one is really easy to get. So yeah, no competition on that. Hand of Justice could be a bit harder. The replacement would probably be this one, Black Hand's Breath, or if you need to hit, you can use Rune of the Guard Captain. Either way, that's the same situation for Alliance, but you don't have this trinket. You can just replace it with this if you don't have Hand of Justice. Okay, so this was Orc. Let's go to the meme races. So the meme races are pretty much similar. They only have one item that changes, and what could that be? Yeah, Edge Masters, of course. So yeah, if you are playing meme race, like if you're playing Dwarf, if you play a Night Elf, if you play Gnome, you play an Troll, if you play in Tauren, or if you play an Undead, all of these, your best thing you pretty much need to get in by your hands is Edge Masters, of course, because you need the weapon skill. I heard different things. For example, people then talking about like your 9%, you just need 9% hit chance. No, don't do that. Go for your weapon skill. It's really important. Weapon skill affects a lot of things. Don't go for 9% hit rating. First of all, you're going to kind of brick your build because 9% hit. It's not that easy to get, and so you are going to sacrifice pieces where you could get damage instead, and still you're still going to have the problem that your glancing blows are going to do less damage if you had no weapon skill. So yeah, weapon skill is more important than hit rating. That's really important. So don't forget that. I see some people are talking about, yeah, just get 9% hit rating. No, that's not true. Focus on your weapon skill first, then your hit rating. So, okay. What can we look at? Yeah, nothing else changed. Just get Edge Masters. So yeah, same thing for the no PvP one. We use also Edge Masters, but we use the Lancers or Swords because these are the best. These are the best weapons we can get. And we can use them with Edge Masters. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, next one. What do we have next? We have, let me look at it, this one. So this is a more interesting one. What would you do if you have a meme race, but still want to have a reasonable pre-raid BIS? And of course, what I mean by that is you don't buy Edge Masters. So now it's going to be a bit more difficult. So now you need to think about it a bit more. What can you use? Because we really need that weapon skill. There's no playing around it. We need it from somewhere. Okay, what can we get? What should we replace then? So everything pretty much the same, but we are using daggers instead. We are not using swords. We are not using axes. We are using daggers. One thing we could also use is we could use axes if we have this helmet. Expert gold minus helmet. If we somehow get this, maybe someone doesn't know how expensive this one is, how much it is worth, and sells it for you for a really cheap price. You can use this instead and use axes. Like, I don't know. But yeah, that would be also an option. Or maybe you drop it, who knows. But yeah, I personally, if I would drop it, I would sell it because it's worth a lot. And there are better options, in my personal opinion, to get weapon skill. Okay, if we use daggers, where do we get our weapon skill from? pretty easy option we have Magas belt. So this belt drops in Diamol. No. This, yeah. Diamol North. We can get this belt, and this one gives us 16 stamina, 1% crit, and 5 daggers. Plus 5 daggers. So yeah. We have our weapon skill, or everything is good again. So that's really nice. Next thing we can get. There's also another thing we could get. So maybe we can get Magas belt. So what should we do then? Let's see. Instead of that, we can, let's see, we use Omox again. Yeah. So we could do that. So we just use Omox. And in our offhand, we use Distracting Dagger. So this dagger has some damage, of course, but it increases our weapon skill by 6. So daggers plus 6. So we also have our weapon skill requirement fulfilled of 305. We have even 306. So yeah, we can also use that. So these are the two options you can get for weapon skill. I would highly recommend if you are playing a meme race and don't want to buy Edge Masters, get Magas belt or get Distracting Dagger. These are your options pretty much. Everything else is either too expensive or yeah, you don't really have an option. So for our main hand dagger, however, we use the Lobotomizer. This one you can get pretty easily by getting Exalted with All Tag Lowly. You will automatically have this, like I said again, because you are grinding PvP, and you can pick up Don Julio's band, which you also pick up there from Exalted. You can also buy a Lobotomizer from that vendor if you are Exalted. It's a really nice dagger, has good damage and is pretty slow. So yeah, we would use that. So either way, actually I don't know which option would be better. I personally would think, if you think about it, this one gives us strength and 1% crit. The problem is this dagger has pretty low damage, so yeah. But either way, it's probably pretty similar to each other. This one has more damage and has 40 attack power instead. There are some better offhand daggers, but they're either really expensive. Probably one of the best ones you could get is this one, Belt Striker. But yeah, good luck with getting that. Probably really impossible. This one's also really nice, Heart Striker. And what else do we have? This one's also really insane, Orc Sunraiser. But yeah, like I said, difficult to get. So everything else you can play around a bit. Like I said, what's most important is that you have enough weapon skill. If you are playing a meme race, you really need to think about where do you get your weapon skill from. There are also some raid options. For example, you can get Aged Core Leather Gloves. This one. Probably some rogues will be mad if you get this one from Molten Core. But yeah, that would be that. You could get that one, which would give you also plus 5 daggers, has some nice stats, even has some strength. And yeah, you could try to get this. And then you wouldn't need this anymore, and you could go for Onslaught. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I talked about every race and so on, every combination. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask them. If you liked this video, feel free to give it a like. If you didn't like anything, feel free to give it a dislike or talk about it in the comments. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this can help you, give you an idea how you should gear, depending on what you want to do, and maybe it can help you a bit on understanding how different gear is important for you. Like I said, I will also make a video about your best in slot overall, like from raids and so on. This will come out later. Maybe I will do it after this. Who knows? But yeah, this will be then another video I will do. Okay, but overall that's all. if you have, like I said, any questions, feel free to ask them. This was pretty fun to do. I will also link all of this in the in the description, so you can find it there. And yeah, this was me, Anke64. I hope you had fun, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. Bye.